It's time for AwesomeNES.
Hey guys, NES Addict here, and welcome to AwesomeNES, where I take you on the adventure of collecting NES games to see how close to a complete collection I can get. I say how close because I really don't ever expect to complete it, but we're sure gonna try. Alright, so first, this is a game I actually already own, but this is a label variant, and it is from my buddy Andy at Pac-Man Case. If you have not seen Pac-Man Case, go check out his channel. Andy is a really awesome dude, and he has the most glorious beard of anybody I've ever seen. It's like a Brillo pad mixed with a lion's mane, but with the power of a Viking. That's how I would best describe it. So anyway, Andy sent me this, and we're going to open it up, and I'm going to show you what it is. It's a game that I've already had, but this is a variant, like I said. So, and that variant is Super Mario Bros. 3, where the Bros is all the way over here under the M. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the other one looks like this, where Bros is under the R and I and O. So you can see there's a very clear difference. And I didn't have this one. So thanks, Andy. I appreciate you sending me that. Next is a game that my buddy MegaDan29 sent me. This game is hard as crap. I'm sure Dan's beaten it, but I can't make it to the first level of Darkman. Darkman was based on a movie that I've never seen, but I'll tell you that I've played it a handful of times, and as you're seeing here on the screen, this is about as far as I've gotten. This game is super tricky, and I don't know if I'll ever sit down long enough to figure out the little details of how to get through this. Also, if you're a fan of Game Dave, he did a really good review on Darkman, so go check that out if you've never seen it. Up next is a game that I used to have in my collection, and then I kind of gave it away, and now I have it back. It's not a great game, but it's also not as bad as everyone says. And that game is Contra Force. Where I think they went wrong with Contra Force is naming it Contra. Once you give it that name, you expect it to be up to the level of Contra and Super C, and it just isn't quite there. There's a lot of slowdown, and the graphics are slightly different. But I still think it's a great game, and it's not nearly as bad as everyone says it is. Had they just called it Iron Force or something else, I think people would be a lot more receptive to it. But anyway, happy to have Contra Force back in the collection. Up next is a game that I've wanted for a long time. Once again, I think I learned about this game through Game Dave, and that game is Jackie Chan's Kung Fu Adventure. This game is awesome. It features Jackie Chan, and you go through different levels fighting all kinds of wacky animals. I've put a little bit of time into this game, and I've made it relatively far, but still haven't beaten it. But I am very excited to have Jackie Chan in the collection and look forward to playing it more. I think this is going to be a really good one if I can ever sit down and try to beat it. And last but not least, this is a game that I got for my birthday. And that game is a super duper heavy hitter that I needed off the list, and now we have Mighty Final Fight. My first introduction to Final Fight was with the Super NES. Actually, that's not true. My first introduction to Final Fight was when I played the arcade game in Myrtle Beach at Wild Water and Wheels. And I got home, and my dad's like, "Hey Jay, what do you want for your birthday?" And of course I had to have Final Fight. Now, as opposed to the Super Nintendo version, in this version you can play with Cody, Hager, and Guy, which is awesome. This is a very cute game. It kind of reminds me of River City Ransom, except without the leveling up that I dislike. Mighty Final Fight is super awesome. If I had any complaints, it flickers a little bit when you get a lot of sprites on screen, but it's super fun. I've made it pretty far in the game. I think I'm getting close to beating it, but I need to practice a little more. But Mighty Final Fight, it is probably worth the price of admission. It's pretty expensive. I think I paid about $170 for this game on my birthday. So I think this actually takes the cake as my most expensive singular game I have now. Alright guys, so if you've been keeping track, my last AwesomeNES video, which was probably like September or October, I had 283 NES games. And now, adding these, I have 287. We are inching our way to the 300 mark. And now I have went from 33.49% of the NES library to 33.96%. So we're getting close to 34% of the library, which seems so small. And sorry guys, I haven't made an AwesomeNES video in a while. I honestly haven't picked things up very much. As you can see, from like September or October or whenever my last update was, and clearly it's September of the next year. So in a matter of 1 year, I only picked up 4 NES games. That should show you how slowly I collect games. Not very quickly. Alright guys, well that's it for this episode of AwesomeNES. Big thanks to MegaDan29 and Pac-Man Case for sending me 2 of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games that I've got in the past year. For me guys, collecting NES games is definitely not a sprint, it's more of a marathon. I have only got 5 NES games in 365 days, roughly. That's kind of crazy to think about. I better get on it. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment below if you own any of these games and what you think of them. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, take care.